Hey, it's Jeff Johnson. Thanks for stopping by the channel and giving me the opportunity to share with you my 1 year post-treatment update from MD Anderson. I have the MD Anderson logo and a picture of their building up on the screen in the background in honor of them. I am not affiliated with MD Anderson in any way and don't speak for them, but hey, I thought I'd give them a little plug since, they saved my life. So 1 year ago, June 29th, 2018, I finished treatment at MD Anderson for squamous cell carcinoma base of tongue. I had a tumor about the size of two golf balls on the base of my tongue. It was attached to my epiglottis, the little flap that folds over the top of your windpipe, and wreaking major havoc, and had it not been treated, would have eventually killed me. There was also some cancer in the right lymph node in my neck. I received 33 radiation treatments for that, in addition to 5 cisplatin chemotherapy. We started with Erbitux immunotherapy, and I had an allergic reaction to that, so we had to stop that, which ended up being great because shortly after, well, the allergic reaction wasn't great, but the fact that we switched to cisplatin was great from a healing standpoint, because shortly after I finished treatment, a definitive study came out saying that Erbitux is less effective, definitively less effective than cisplatin for this particular cancer in this particular location. So, although I have some side effects as a result of it, glad we switched. So here's the report. We'll start with the great news. For the 4th time, no evidence of disease. I've gone back to MD Anderson every 3 months for the past year. They've done a CT scan and blood work, and every time those tests have shown no evidence of disease. So that is great news. They are so excited that they are accelerating my visit schedule just a little bit. And by accelerating, I mean I was originally told that I would go back every 3 months for 2 years, and then every 6 months for 3 years, and then once a year for the rest of my life. At my visit last week, since today's Sunday, at my visit last week, they told me we're going to move you to every 4 months instead of every 3 months. So still not the full 6 months, but that's an optimistic sign to me, and I'm excited about that. So less frequent trips to the lovely city of Houston, occupied by a bunch of wonderful people who don't know how to drive. Okay, not all of you, but anyway, traffic's bad in Houston. Not enough said. They are looking at my thyroid. One of my thyroid numbers is normal. The actual hormone production in my thyroid is normal. Your brain secretes a hormone that tells the thyroid to produce the hormone it produces, and the brain secretion number is elevated, which what that means is that my brain is having to work harder to get my thyroid to do its job. My brain's been having to work hard its whole life. But anyway, so what this means is that they're going to monitor my thyroid, and there could have been some damage to it from the radiation. Kind of on the bad news front, I asked if this could be contributing to my fatigue. I have been extremely exhausted basically for the last 3 years. And the chief of my cancer team, Dr. Stephen Lai, said, yes, thyroid problems could contribute to fatigue. He said, but something you need to understand is that one of the permanent side effects of this particular treatment for this cancer is you're going to be tired for the rest of your life, and you need to just get used to that. I mean, he wasn't cold or harsh or anything like that. He's just very matter of fact, and I appreciate that. So fatigue is something I'm going to deal with possibly for the rest of my life. They also examined my hearing. I had a hearing test before I started treatment because we knew cisplatin was a possibility, cisplatin chemotherapy. And I've had a couple of hearing tests since then. This was the first time that they've shown me the before and after. And so if you can imagine this little bar graph with the little dots on the graph, and you've got 2 lines, well, the space between the 2 lines, the top line being the what I could hear before and the bottom line being what I can hear now, that space is the hearing that I've lost, and it's pretty significant. My greatest difficulty is making out what people are saying in noisy environments. I've also lost a bit of the top end of my range, which means I don't hear electric guitars, pianos, lead vocals as clearly as I used to. Things are a little muddy. One of the strange things, and the audiologist told me that this is not abnormal at all, is that I have a hypersensitivity to high-pitched loud noises. So any kind of alarm, smoke alarm, fire alarm, police siren, And things like dishes clanking together in a restaurant, silverware hitting porcelain plates, that kind of thing. Um, it's not an exaggeration to say it's kind of like an ice pick stabbing into my eardrums. It's physically painful. I carry earplugs with me everywhere I go, and whenever I have issues with that, I wear those earplugs. They are adjustable earplugs. They're sport earplugs for shooting and loud sports and things of that nature, and so they have an adjustment where I can basically, it's loud, so I put my earplugs in, or it's really loud, so I put my earplugs in and close the adjustment, and it gives me more protection. So adapting, and that's a huge part of it. Still have a lot of dry mouth. I don't know if you can tell already, my mouth is drying out just the short bit of time that I've been talking with you. And that's something that is getting better. I still use dry mouth lozenges when I sleep. The particular brand I use is ACT. ACT. I like the lemon flavor. There are other, Biotine has one. There are other options out there. But that has helped a lot, particularly when I sleep. My mouth gets extremely dry. I guess I'm a mouth breather and it dries my mouth out. But with one of those lozenges, I just take it and put it inside up here in my cheek on either side before I go to sleep. It stays there. It's always a little part of it still there the next morning. And that helps me get through the night without my mouth totally drying out. So cool beans. I'm eating pretty much what I want. Not everything that I want. I still can't eat any kind of spicy foods at all. Tried a sweet chicken salad tonight that was made with Miracle Whip that had some fruit in it that should have tasted sweet, but they had put black pepper on it, and all I could taste was black pepper. I couldn't eat it. So anyway, that's, one of the things about having had throat cancer and having had radiation to the head and neck is your taste buds get messed up. I think I'm blessed in that a lot of things taste like I remember them. I still have issues with sweet. I still have issues with chocolate. Chocolate has started burning. I'm not happy about that. I love chocolate. But anyway, I'm adjusting. So there you go. Let's see. My heart. Okay. So for the past 3 months, I have been dealing with my heart either running way too slow or way too fast. And so that I'm not exaggerating, I've been tracking this with a heart monitor. My heart rate has been fluctuating between 40 beats per minute on the low end and 148 beats per minute on the high end. This is not normal and it's not good. In addition to that, when I reported this to the folks at MD Anderson, and they were aware of it from my last 3-month checkup, but when I reminded them about it and said it's still going on and it's been fairly consistent, they monitored my heart rate for a little while. And not only is it fluctuating low and high, it is inconsistent and consistently inconsistent, if that makes any sense. The nurse described it this way. She said, your heart should function like a metronome. You should have a steady beat, a boom, 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 boom. At whatever rate it's beating, it should be steady. My heart, she said, sounds more like someone sending Morse code. It's boom, 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 boom. And that's not good. So I am awaiting a referral to a cardiologist, and we'll find out what's going on there. The most likely two causes of that are cisplatin is a chemotherapy that has platinum in it, wherever platinum obviously is poison to human beings. Wherever it pools, it causes nerve damage. That's the reason for the hearing loss and the hearing issues that I have, is because it pools in the bottom of the ear and does damage to the eardrum. I have peripheral neuropathy, which is the tips of my fingers. I've lost some of the feeling there. They kind of tingle. Same thing for the bottom of my feet and my toes. When I slept, while I was going through treatment, I had to sleep elevated because of the dry mouth. And so I have this little spot back here. I'll let you just imagine where it might be if this is my head and these are my feet. I have this little stripe across part of my anatomy that's numb and tingles just a little bit, and that's just really weird. But anyway, that's a minor thing compared to the potential that the cisplatin either cause some nerve damage or physical damage to my heart. Now, obviously, I won't know until I see a cardiologist and or an electrophysiologist, but they will do all that testing, find out what's going on, and figure out what we need to do to correct it. It could be something as simple as that my blood pressure is out of whack, and once we get my blood pressure under control, my heart rate will be normal. I did have high blood pressure before I had cancer. I lost 62 pounds in treatment. And as a result of that weight loss, my blood pressure went back to normal and has been normal. So they took me off of my blood pressure medication as well as high cholesterol medication. So I guess in a weird sort of way, having cancer does have some benefits. I will say it's a weight loss program I don't recommend to anyone, but it does work extremely effectively. Not eating will make you lose weight. So let me just run down the list again. No evidence of disease, which is the best news. Less frequent visits, that's good news. Hearing loss is probably going to be permanent. They told me when it gets to the point where it's bothering me badly enough, it's my choice of when I go for hearing aids if I decide to do that. Right now, I don't think I need them yet. I'm sure my family will tell me when it gets to the point that I do. Peripheral neuropathy is still an issue, dry mouth is still an issue, and thyroid might be an issue, and we're monitoring the heart and going to see a cardiologist and possibly an electrophysiologist to figure out what's going on and get it fixed. So worst case scenario in that is I have to have a pacemaker, and that's surgery and it's your heart, so it's not a minor thing. But honestly, that technology and even the way they do that surgery has advanced so much in just the past few years. I talked to somebody recently who had a pacemaker installed. They have about a 2-inch scar appear somewhere around their collarbone. There's no splitting you open anymore or anything like that, at least not. They didn't do it to them. And compared to what it was even 5 or 10 years ago, that was major, massive surgery, and this is comparatively minor surgery. So don't want that. Hope that's not necessary, but if it happens, it happens, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Wanted to give you the 1-year update. I also want to share something else with you. My monitor went away. Let me switch. I was going to say switch what's on the monitor, but let me bring that back. And I'm going to put this up there because I want to tell you about something exciting that's going on that I'm working right now, and ask you to subscribe to another YouTube channel. I have launched a YouTube channel called Up Your News. It's available. You can search Up Your News. I think you probably need to search it as one word because that's how the URL is, or you can just go to youtube.com/Up Your News. And now I will tell you right now, there's nothing on the channel. There's just a description and a header image and the logo. There are no videos there yet. Here's what I'm working on, and I want to explain a little bit about why I'm doing this. I've created a news service, obviously, called Up Your News. It's kind of like Up Your Game. You talk to an athlete and you say, how are you going to up your game? Well, how are you going to up your news? I've been a journalist for most of my adult life. I started working in the media when I was 14 years old. Quickly, I worked as a disc jockey for a little while, very quickly moved over into the news side, worked as a reporter, investigative reporter, news and public affairs talk show host. I was a political and investigative reporter in Washington, D.C. for nearly a decade. I covered the 9/11 terrorist attacks from the U.S. Capitol and the Pentagon. I'm a journalist. It's what I do. Journalism is not what it used to be. Journalism is not... There's been a period of time that I was no longer proud to call myself a journalist, and what I did in response to that was withdraw from it. I took a job as a public relations person and walked away from that, and I decided I want to do something about it. And right now, this is a part-time fun venture for me that I want to share with you. That's how I'm looking at it. What I'm doing is I am searching news websites all over the internet, television stations, newspapers, other internet-only news outlets, and I'm finding a couple of kinds of stories. The first category I'm calling uplifting stories. These are the stories that as soon as you see them, you want to share them with somebody because they make you feel good and you want to share that feeling with somebody else. There are lots of them. You just have to go find them. They get drowned out by the political arguing and the another shooting and another murder and another kidnapping and it's bad news all the time. And it can take you to this negative, bad place. And with everything else that's going on in the world, when there's an opportunity to focus on good, I think we should take it. And there's a lot of good going on in the world. But most news organizations relegate it to that one feel-good story at the end of the newscast, or that, oh, by the way, category over on the bottom left-hand corner of the newspaper or whatever. I want to make it front and center. I want to up your news. So I'm looking for those uplifting stories that make you feel good, that you want to share with people, that you want to go, oh, this made me smile. I want to share this with you. I'm also looking for cute, funny stories, but I'm looking for a very special category of cute, funny stories. Now, these are the puppies and kittens and baby kind of stories that make you smile, but it's also funny stories that are not funny because someone was humiliated, embarrassed, or injured. There's a lot of that stuff. That stuff's all over YouTube. It's all over the internet. You can nervous laugh at people falling out of chairs and whatever. I'm looking for those fun stories that make you laugh because, the baby was trying to go outside where he wasn't supposed to be and the dog grabbed the diaper and pulled the baby back inside. Those kinds of things. There are a lot of examples. Anyway, the website is up now, and I've already started populating it with stories. It's called upyournews.com, and you can go there. So here's how this will work. As I find stories during the week, I'm going to post them at upyournews.com. You'll be able to go there and look anytime you want to and see what new stories have been posted. My plan is every week to do a weekly count up. I'm playing off the name Up Your News. It's a countdown, but it's a count up of the five most popular stories for that week. Now, if there are only 5 stories, it'll be those 5 stories. But what I've found so far is there are a lot more than that. I'm averaging about 15 to 20 stories a week. It's really cool. You have to work to find these, but when you find them, they put a smile on your face. So I'll do a weekly count up video, and I'll do 5 of the uplifting stories, and I'll throw in one of the cute, funny stories as kind of a bonus before we get to number 5, which, since it's a count up, number 5 is actually number 1, and that's really confusing, so don't worry about it. But anyway, what I'd like for you to do right now is, if that kind of thing interests you, if you would like to see those kinds of stories and read them and see that video every week, go subscribe to that channel if you would. Again, it's youtube.com/upyournews, and the website is upyournews.com. And hopefully this is something that we can share together and enjoy, and just it'll give us all something that's not cancer. Okay? I spent a lot of my journalistic career focused on politics, and politics has just gotten really mean and nasty right now. Politics used to be a lot of fun, and honestly, it's just not fun anymore. It's not fun to cover, and I can't imagine that it's fun to be in if you're a candidate or an office holder. So I'm going to step away from politics, but I'm going to stop stepping away from journalism, and I'm going to up your news. So please join me. Hey, thanks so much for checking out this video. I apologize for the length, but I wanted to share Up Your News with you as a tag to the video, and I hope you'll take a minute to go over there and subscribe to that channel. I'll put a link to both the website and the YouTube channel in the description of the video. And my next visit at MD Anderson is 4 months from now. So my next update, unless something happens between now and then, well, I'll do an update when I find out what's going on with my heart. So I'll let you know after the cardiologist or electrophysiologist tells me what's going on. I'll let you know what's happening there. I do appreciate your comments, and I'm happy to answer any question that you want to answer, as long as it's not a medical question. I am not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I don't want to play one on the internet. I will be happy to share my experience with you. If you want to ask me, what did you experience when you had cisplatin chemotherapy, or what did you experience when you had radiation to your throat, I'll be happy to share that with you. I'll be happy to share the tricks and tips that they gave me that helped me get through treatment with less pain and less discomfort, and to heal quickly, more quickly than some folks. But I'm not going to give medical advice because, A, I don't want to mess you up, and B, I don't want to go to jail. So thanks again for tuning in, and I do appreciate you. I appreciate your comments, and if you are a person of faith, I appreciate your prayers. And if you're not, we can talk about that too. God bless you, and thanks for watching the video. Have a great day, week, month, year, and life.